And welcome. This is the Countdown, produced by Motivate Sports and approved by Oakley. This week we're at the Kamalani Playground in Wailua doing our show and goofing off. As you can see, mostly goofing off. But somehow, this week we managed to put together a pretty good show for you, and we'll start things off with Kapa'a football. We dropped in at one of their practices, talked to their head coach Philip Raposo as he gets his team ready for Damien in the HHSAA Division II state semifinals at Vidina Stadium.
Our last two games were really tough, The good thing about that, I feel like we're battle tested.
Now, you went to the coaches meeting and stuff. You've been there for, what, this is your third straight year. You're becoming one of the old boys in that meeting, huh?
I far from that, but you get guys that have been there for 15 years, so I'm still a baby yet.
I hate to cheer for a team or pump up one team over another, but Wailua has got to be the Cinderella story of the season in high school football in Hawaii, huh?
Oh, yeah. I got to see them play against Waipau in the OIA Championship, and they're pretty good, man. It's not a fake thing, They're pretty good, especially on offense.
Now, talk about the Kapa'a Warriors, because there's no secret, down the stretch, you guys struggled offensively, pretty bad. What kind of stuff have you guys done to get that corrected?
Well, we just got to execute. We just got to go out there. We got to stay focused, We got to control the line of scrimmage on offense, and we got to catch the ball. This is the basic fundamentals of football. And I think if we do that, we'll be right back on track like we were early in the season.
Now, what kind of stuff have you guys done during practice? Is it more film, more meetings, or more stuff, more dedicated stuff on the field to get the offense going again?
No, we've been doing a lot of fundamentals, especially the last week, because, we didn't know what bracket we were in. So just got back to basics, film, of course, more on ourselves, correcting things, chalk talk, So, it's hard when you don't know who you're playing. You just got to get back to the fundamentals.
The back part of the season, primarily you went with Te'ili Fonua as your quarterback. We're going to see more of that, or more of a rotation between he and Kurt?
We're not even sure yet, I'll be honest, because Kurt helps us a lot out at receiver, you know what I mean? So, and Te'ili, he can do both also, but we're going to do whatever is best, gives us the best chance to win, So, and then we brought up our JV quarterback, who's doing really well right now. So, it's Kahanu Davis, So, we got three good guys now, and we're going to see what is best for the team.
Defensively, finally somebody scored on a defense after, about 12 games, outside of the Radford game. I think people kind of feel, hey, we found the chink in the armor. I know Mikey takes that pretty personal, but how's the defense doing in this off period?
Well, like I said, that may be a blessing in disguise, yeah. To go as long as we did without getting scored upon, it's almost unbelievable, and it's never going to stay that way. You're never going to go every season without being scored upon, But, we've made some adjustments. Coach Mike has come up with some new things, that will help us, and we're just working.
Well, how does it feel to get back into the state championships after the rough season you guys had this year?
It feels good. I'm excited, and I think we can take it all this year.
Now, has the mentality of the team changed since the end of the season till now?
Yes, we're starting to work a lot harder, stay focused, more practice, and we're starting to all come in and commit together.
Now, the Warriors have been there 3 straight years. For most of these guys, they've also been there 3 straight years. We'd like to close out one of these years and get a title. How would that feel?
It would feel amazing. I know it would feel good for all of us, especially our coaches. They work really hard and they push us every day, and it would feel amazing for all of us.
All I can say is, go Kapa'a, beat Damien. For our next segment, we went around town asking people, who's your favorite NFL team? For me, I'm a huge Seattle Seahawks fan. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, and here's the story. Way back when I was a little kid, My uncles and my dad were watching Super Bowl 10, in which the Steelers beat the Cowboys, and Lynn Swann had a big game. And all I can remember is my dad and my uncle saying that the referees were cheating for Pittsburgh, and that kind of upset me. I said, the Cowboys is my team. Then when I checked later on, the doctor said, hey dude, you were born a Cowboy fan. So there you go, the Dallas Cowboys. Now here's what these people had to say. Your favorite NFL team?
49ers.
Now, how'd you become a fan of that team? Is there a story?
My dad, you know, I think it all started when Joe Montana was in Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame fan, you know, and then when he went to the Niners, my dad already liked them. I jumped on board, you know, but yeah, it's the Niners.
Who's your favorite 49er?
Of all time or no?
All time.
Joe Montana.
I grew up in Southern California, so I was a Los Angeles Rams fan. And then when they moved to St. Louis and they were the greatest show on turf, Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner, they were a ton of fun to watch in those days. And now they moved back to Southern California. Hopefully they'll going in the right direction.
Not too sure how old you are, but were you there during the Vince Ferragamo days, Pat Hayden?
I was a very, very young boy, but I remember Vince Ferragamo and Jack Youngblood and some of those guys. Yeah, I was really little, but I remember them. Dickerson was really my guy growing up, though. That was kind of the heyday for the Los Angeles Rams. He was amazing to watch. Unbelievable athlete.
Now, outside of living in the area, is there a story that goes behind being a Rams fan?
When I was in high school, I played a couple years of high school football, and I was a wide receiver. And I got to meet Jack Snow, and he came to a couple workouts with me. But with this long, skinny body, football didn't really last too long.
Who's your favorite NFL team?
NFL team, Los Angeles Rams.
How come?
It's my dad's favorite team, and I've been cheering for them for 5 years through thick and thin.
Okay, who's your favorite of all time? Who's your favorite LA Ram?
LA Ram. I guess I gotta say Todd Gurley, the new guy.
Not Zerline?
No.
Oh, I'm a Patriot guy, Joe. I'm a absolute Tom Brady fan and a Patriot Belichick guy, and just love the Patriots.
From how far back have you been a Patriots fan?
I would say about 10 years now, 10, 15 years.
Now, is there a story to change from whatever team you were a fan of to the Patriots?
Well, no, you know, I'm normally a one-team guy, and you know, I way back I Buffalo fan, you know, and then you know I like Tom Brady, so I follow Tom Brady, and you know when he came into the NFL and when he was in college, and you know I watched him through that and enjoyed everything about him.
Now, should Tom Brady leave the Patriots? Do you have a big decision, or are you going to stick with the Patriots?
No, I'll probably hang with it. You know, I like Belichick, and Belichick retires, and you see what happens. I mean, you know, you got to like other teams too, like Dallas and stuff, but, you know, hey, I love the Patriots, so I'm going to follow the Patriots and see what happens this year, and hopefully they finish up on top of the NFL championship.
I know you got two younger sons. Have you forced them to be Patriots fans or move out of the house?
No, absolutely not. You know, they pick their own teams. They follow who they want to follow, and you know, we have some fun with that. So, no, I don't do that.
Okay, right now the
I might be
Patriots.
getting ready to tell them to leave the house, but no, they pick their own teams.
Patriots sitting at what 7-1 right now. They got a bye week. What's the outlook on the rest of the season for those guys?
I think they'll hang in there. Maybe they'll take another lump or someplace, but you know, I think they'll be in that last game, and you know. I'm pretty sure with that suspension that Brady took, he's kind of making things happen right now and showing everybody that he's the man.
So I guess if you have your way and I have my way, we got the Cowboys and the Patriots in Houston at the end of the year then.
Oh, that would be awesome, yeah?
Who's your favorite NFL team?
Easy. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Is there a story behind that?
I've been a Steeler fan since the 60s, since the days of Rocky Blyer, Franco Harris, Terry Bradshaw, and always been a Steeler fan. Let me show you something. Is that okay?
Sounds good. Looks good to me. Yeah. Who's your? Have you ever been to a Steeler game?
Oh yeah, I've been to. Usually when they come to the West Coast, I try to make the games. I've been to a few of them over at the what you call San Diego when they played San Diego, and I've been to one in Arizona when they played the Phoenix. I mean, it was Arizona Cardinals.
First of all, who's your favorite NFL team?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, you're just the greatest coach of all time. You know that. What's the story behind liking the Cowboys?
This is my parents, grandparents, and the first day I was born, my dad wrapped me in a Dallas Cowboy blanket, and when I was brought home, I was in a Dallas onesie.
So you were brought up correctly then.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you ever been to the old Texas Stadium or the new AT&T Stadium?
No, never been. I lived in the Indiana-ish area, so we would go to Soldier Field if we had a chance to watch them.
Now, who's your favorite Dallas Cowboy of all time?
Of all time, I would probably have to say Michael Irvin.
If we missed you this time, don't worry, we're always around town, and maybe we'll get a chance to ask you, who's your favorite NFL team? As long as you don't say the Cardinals or the 49ers. Oops. Sorry, Todd. Promise you I'm not going to pick on your team for the rest of this show. Yeah, right. Well, next, let's go visit Mike at Whitewater Lures as we get to watch him tie a couple of his saltwater flies. Now, his lures are so good, they're considered works of art and are proven fish catchers, a must for any fisherman's tackle box. How's it, everybody? This afternoon, we are with Mike Nishida Lanis, and he's going to show us his lures. His company is called Whitewater Lures. And first of all, Mike, how things get started for you as far as making lures?
Pretty much I got tired of taking off grubs. So I decided to make something that's going to last a lot longer. Might cost a little more, but go a long way.
As far as the development of your lures, from your first prototype to what you have as pretty much a finished product, what's the time period?
About 8 months. Took me about 8 months to start something, didn't like it, improved on it, tried it, and we came up with a final product.
Now, I understand you got opie-looking flies as well as, I guess you can call it saltwater, open ocean flies for the bigger fish?
Yeah, we have pelagics. Mainly, I send those off to a Wahoo to test with commercial fishermen. Opies are kind of my little niche. No one's doing it the way I do it. There are guys who do make opies. Mine look realistic.
Now, for today, what kind of lures are you going to show us and make a few of them?
Well, I'm going to try simple streamer flies, something you can make at home. Anybody can make at home and try it out. Okay, so I'm going to start off is with a standard. I like to use tarpon hooks. This one, I'm going to use a 2.0 tarpon, the 7766 DT. The key is if you're going to tie flies, get a vise that is worth the money. Don't have to get it as elaborate as this. These are Renzetti vices. They're totally rotating, 100% true rotary vise. If you really get serious into it, I'd recommend it. But do your homework before you go ahead and purchase something. What I like to do is I like to lay pretty much a base layer. And I advise you to use mono to tie your flies. It adheres better to the hook. It's not going to slip off the hook when you fasten everything down like using thread. So what I'm going to do is just do a basic, I like to call it my little simple Nehu fly, and kind of oversize it for shoreline. On the boat I'd probably use maybe a number 1 hook, tarpon. But for this one, we'll make it a little bit bigger. And what I like to do is kind of offset my material so it lays nicer instead of having one big clump. Let me flip this over. And don't worry, you can trim everything off afterwards. Just work it around your hook to get an even distribution of your material. It just looks nicer. And don't worry about trimming it just yet. Okay, so I like it to add a little bit bulk to my flies. You don't really want to see any skinny bait fish out there. And this material, basically what I'm using now is just basically Supreme hair. It's real basic that you can find. If you're on a Wahoo, you can go to Nervous Waters. They're down in downtown. Gotta go look up the address. I just know how to drive there. I'm not one with addresses. As you can see, the fly will start taking shape for you. It's not a fancy fly to tie. We'll clean this up afterwards. Now for the fun part. The flash. What basically will attract in the water. You don't have to put a lot. Okay, so now you know how long your flash is. You can make it, trim it as much as you like. Get this flash out of the way. Pretty much done until we do some resining. What I like to do is add what I call a little hat on it. It's just me. That's what I do on all my flies. It makes it look different. Gives it that, to me it gives it a more fishy look. And it's a different contrasting color than what you have on there now. Just whip it. Pretty much the tying is done. We'll make sure it's evenly distributed around your hook. One last time before you finish it. Everybody has different ways that they tie. I'm not saying mine is the right way, but it works for me. This is a little secret concoction I was given to me by the guys I get my resin from. There are similar products out there, but this one works really well. And you put the UV light to cure it. And let's move on to putting the eyes. Your eyes can either make or break your fly. And I don't like to put my eyes on while it's in the vise. I do it by hand. It's just the way it's always been done with me. I use most of my flies, I use the Living Eyes by Fish Skull. They're really nice eyes. And if you put the eyes the right way, it looks real. If you don't, it looks horrible. So please put your eyes a way that it looks presentable. Now the eyes come in different sizes. I use a 10 millimeter just because the majority of my flies I do are pelagic. They're off, off the boat, off the kayak, for bigger fish. For shoreline, I do have smaller ones that are not here yet, so I'm kind of just improvising with what I have. Put it back in the vise and finish it up. So as you can see, you pretty much have a basic shape to your fly. You can see the eyes, and it's just basically filling in the body now. And it's pretty much done. A little bit of trimming, but basically you got yourself a little bait fish. You can make it longer, shorter, whatever you desire, but they work.
A big mahalo to Mike Nishida at Whitewater Lures. I'll give those flies a try as soon as we're done here. Well, we're not pow yet, so don't go nowhere. We saved the best for last. T-ball at the Waimea Canyon Park, the Hanapepe Youth Baseball Association's Tournament of Champions. And the shave ice was pretty good too. What's up, Kimo? How's it? Right now we got out in Pablo, T-ball tournament out here on the west side of Kauai. Talk about your tournament, like how to get started, and the name of the tournament.
Oh, okay. Hanapepe Youth Baseball Tournament of Champions is what we call them. It came about during one of our meetings. He said, you know what, there is no tournament for T-ball teams and stuff like that. Nothing like that on island. There's for coach pitch and all the way up. But we was thinking, hey, one T-ball tournament, bring all the young kids, bring all the aunties, uncles to the park, have a beautiful weekend here. And so far, it's looking like it's been a success.
Sure looks it to me. It's fairly crowded with a lot of family and kids. How many teams are in the tournament and where are they from?
We got 16 teams committed, ranging from Lihui to Kekaha. We actually brought in 3 Lihui teams, 3 Kalawai teams, and our West Kauai League. All of the teams made it, so 16 total.
Now, one of the unique things about this tournament, which I noticed as soon as I saw the schedule, is all the different fields are named after sponsors. I mean, you got Arthur Bloom Field, the Kawakami Field. I know that's the time of the year in which they're willing to do it, but kind of unique, huh?
Oh, well, these 5 guys actually been supporting Hanapepe Youth Baseball Association for the past few years. So, we rely on them, and because they help us out so much, we figure, why not let them sponsor some fields, put their name on them instead of calling it Field A, B, Field 1, Field 2.
Is this a goodwill type of tournament, or is there like a tournament style tournament?
Well, even though the name is Tournament of Champions, all these kids is champions. It's a goodwill style. We're not really keeping score, but you can get a good gauge on how your team doing before our season starts. So it's pretty good.
So I know, obviously for you guys, kind of a gauge of where the West Side teams are. But I think you told me some of the other leagues, they're kind of ending right about now, so they can kind of see how good their kids got from beginning to end, right?
Yep, exactly. Just bring them out and have some fun and just see, and we can also get ready for our upcoming league. So it's all good. Well, we're hoping that this can bring plenty of exposure to this tournament. We're trying to have it annually, so. Next year we're going to try to reach out even further and try to get more guys to come. And having a 20-team tournament would be unreal, but we can make it happen, man. Bring the teams, let's just do it.
Well, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Right on. Thanks, Solid, bro.
We're here on the west side with the Waimea baseball head coach, Larry Ifan, and you're checking out some of the action of this T-ball tournament. What's your role in the tournament?
Well, our role this year, Ryan called us, when he put together this event, which is unbelievable event, a lot of participation for the kids at this age throughout the island. And he approached us to see if we wanted to, volunteer to to do the umpiring. And, we've done this in the past with the Kalawai Pinto tournament. And it's a great opportunity for our kids to, get out there and see the other side of the game.
You gave me a good reason why you're doing this with your boys, and maybe tell everybody else, because I would never approach it from the way you've brought that out.
Well, and it started with our staff. When this first came about to do the Kalawai tournament, we thought it was an unbelievable idea because you give these kids a chance to, see the views or the standpoint from the umpire standpoint. And, before you decide, now when you're a player and you're out there on the field, and before you decide to, question a call, you remember and put yourself back on how it was when you're umpiring at this age. And, it's not easy. You got to make a decision and a judgment call right there and then and live with it, whether it's right or wrong.
I kind of thought it would be a great way to get your guys slowly into baseball mode, this early in the school year as you move into your tryouts and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. It is, but it's also, aside, like I said, now they're not participating. They're not doing the physical aspect of it, but now they got to really think and, have the rules go through their head. Okay, what the situation is. Even at our level, you still got kids struggle with, okay, it's a force out. Is it a force out? Is it a fair ball? What constitutes a fair ball? So, no, it's a great way, like you said, also get them prepped and ready for season, but more mentally.
I know it's T-ball and all that, but what do you think of the action?
It's been exciting. A lot of good talent once again. Kauai, unbelievable talent for such a small population. At this age, you see a lot of participation. Just look at all the people that's out here. You got this age, you got grandmas, you got grandpas, you got aunties, uncles, moms, dads, brothers, sisters. Everybody comes out here, and it just brings a positive attitude to the game.
You can stick with that story, because I think you're out here scouting talent.
Yeah, the West Side has a lot of talent coming up. I just need to survive all these years.
Well, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the tournament.
Thank you. Thanks to you guys. Hello, everybody. This is Coach Larry Ifan from Wyoming High School, and we'll catch you on the countdown.
We had a lot of fun out there on the West Side watching those cute little kids play T-ball, boys and girls. Mahalo goes out to Alden Pablo and Coach Larry Ifan. If you've got questions, comments, or ideas for future segments in our show, drop us an email at thecountdownkauai@gmail.com. Don't forget, next week we're going to have highlights of the Kapa'a Damien D2 State Semifinal. I'm Anahola Joe Pahukula. You're watching The Countdown.